How amazing would it be if you could look after just one part of your anatomy which controls everything else, such as managing your stress levels, reducing anxiety, looking after your digestive health, boosting your immune system. Believe it or not, there is one such part of your anatomy which has a massive effect on all of those things that I've just mentioned. In this episode of the Energy Healing Podcast, we are going to explore something called vagal tone, which helps you to maintain amazing health. My name is Haroon Rabbani and I am an energy healer, and this is the Energy Healing Podcast. Now, the vagus nerve starts off in your brain and it literally wanders throughout your body, touching upon most of the major organs. It's there to support your entire body. Now, it's part of what you call the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system also works with the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is responsible for survival, to protect you, fight or flight. So if you're being chased by a Bengal tiger, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, you release epinephrine, cortisol, a whole bunch of stressor hormones, so you can run like hell from that Bengal tiger. Now, in those moments, your body really doesn't care, and you probably don't care about your digestive health. The immune system is firing off white blood cells to protect you, and it starts putting out markers which lead to inflammation within your body, which is very useful if you are in pure survival mode, protecting yourself from a prowling Bengal tiger. However, when you've got your foot on your gas pedal so hard and you're accelerating, at some point the tiger no longer chases you because it's grabbed somebody else. At some point when that happens, you have to put the brakes on and slow down, and this is where the parasympathetic nervous system comes in. And a very important part of the parasympathetic nervous system is your vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve, what it does is it slows your breathing down. Just imagine when you're in survival mode, you're going to be breathing rapidly. When you're in anxiety mode or having an anxiety attack, you're going to be breathing in a very shallow manner. So the parasympathetic nervous system slows your breathing down. Second thing is it improves your digestive health. The vagus nerve helps reduce the production of inflammation markers. All inflammation ultimately leads to chronic pain, and all chronic pain is caused by inflammation. So this needs to be reduced, and this is caused by the activity of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve also helps to slow down your heart rate. Your heart isn't going at 1,000 miles an hour any longer. So can you see it's so important to have the parasympathetic nervous system optimally working for you? In today's modern society, most people have got their foot down on the gas and they barely use the parasympathetic nervous system, the brakes. So you need balance, and we can measure this imbalance between your organs using the BioL device, which I'll talk to you about another episode. So it's so important that we have balance, because both are important, not just one exclusively. If your parasympathetic nervous system was working all the time, then eventually you'll just turn into a jellyfish. We don't want that. In order to improve the optimality of your vagus nerve, what you do is you enhance a vagal tone. To enhance it is actually relatively easy, but most people won't do it. And it is so critical that you do enhance the vagal tone. I'm going to share with you 5 different ways you can improve vagal tone. The first way to improve your vagal tone is to do deep breath work. There's many different ways to do it. My own personal preference is using pranayama, and there's a number of techniques you can do which balances both your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. The second way is to do it through yoga. Now, when you do a yin yoga or traditional yogic practice, what happens is you have to focus on your breath, both your in-breath and your out-breath, and so that creates balance as well. The third way to enhance your vagal tone is through meditation. What do I mean by that? It's not just about thinking that your vagus nerve is going to be fine. No, it's linked to the breath work you do with your meditation, as well as creating space between your thoughts. You see, your thoughts are the things that are instigating the perceptions, which are instigating your sympathetic nervous system activity. So meditation is very useful. The fourth way is something that is becoming more and more popularized, particularly by people like Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, and that's taking cold showers. So if you're somebody who is brave enough to jump into a cold shower, then go ahead and do it. What I do is, I'm not so brave. I'll go in, have my full-on shower, and then when I've finished the normal shower bit, I start gradually turning down the shower temperature until it gets too cold. When it's cold, I'll stay there for a minute or two, and that not only enhances your vagal tone, it improves your skin condition, it helps reduce aging, so I would strongly recommend that. And the fifth way, which I absolutely love, it's something that I've developed, but I remember once, about 8 years ago, I was in a really stressful relationship situation, and I was meditating, I was doing all sorts of stuff to manage my stress. And one day I was lying there on my bed, and I was just stressing away, trying to meditate, breathing. None of this was working, so I took my hand and I put it over my chest, and I just focused on breathing with my hand on my chest. I could not believe it. It works. So it's a hand on heart technique, and here's how you do it. You bring your hands together, rub it vigorously until your hands start getting nice and warm. Once you've done that, what you're doing is you're activating your chakras, and you're starting to strengthen the electromagnetic field around your hand. And so you put that over your heart. You can do it sitting down or lying down. Put it over your heart and just breathe, visualizing the connection between your hand and your heart. So you close your eyes and you visualize the connection between your hand and your heart. I've had clients who are suffering from major panic attacks. The moment they do this particular exercise, it only takes about 30 seconds to a minute, and their panic attack subsides. But also, of course, when you do that through your meditation, so it could be 10-minute, 20-minute meditation, then it starts enhancing your vagal tone, and you are not so much controlled by the survival mechanism. So I hope that exercise and all that I've shared has been useful for you. Make sure you share this video. Why? Because there'll be somebody out there who is suffering. You know, it may be that they've got digestive health issues. It may be that their immune system is not so strong. And I can promise you, when I measure all my clients with their different health issues, a lot of their organs are basically failing. So doing these 5 things that I suggested to you will make a big difference. So make sure you share that video. Also, finally, I have an upcoming webinar with my colleague, Nelia Freitas, who talks about pranayama and yoga. So she's a yoga teacher, energy healer, and she'll be joining me in this upcoming webinar. If you'd like to join it, it's a free webinar. Click on the link in the description below and join us for the webinar so that you can learn how to manifest your amazing health physically, mentally, and even to do with your relationships. Thanks for watching. See you next time.